What is up, UFC and MMA fans? Welcome to my first ever video on the channel. First things first, please make sure that you like the video and subscribe if you enjoy content like this and want to see more of my stuff in the future. It would mean a lot to me and would be a big help. And today we're going to be discussing the top 5 most skilled fighters in the UFC currently. Alright, so starting at number 5 on this list, we're going to go with Alexandre Pantoja. First things first, Alexandre Pantoja has elite level BJJ. He has really good submissions. He also has really good striking and pressure. He's a long-reigning champion. I think he had 4 title defenses, I believe, before he got injured in the Joshua Van fight. Pretty sure they're going to do a rematch again at some point this year. And, yeah, sometimes he can slow down a little bit in fights, but he beat the top guys, like, pretty dominantly. And sometimes his striking defense can be kind of questionable at times, but he still puts on a masterclass and still shows how elite he is basically every single fight, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets the belt back in his next fight. We just have to see how good he's going to return after that injury. Also, Pantoja is also really fast, obviously. Well, him being a flyweight and all, but still he's really fast. And another thing about Pantoja that makes him a little bit lower on this list is that flyweight lacks elite competition. Like, he's beaten like a lot of like really good guys in this division, don't get me wrong, but I think divisions like bantamweight, lightweight, and especially welterweight have a lot more well-rounded fighters that flyweight doesn't have, and he has a lot of favorable stylistic matchups at this weight class. But with that being said, he still dominates all these guys at the top. And I also think if Pantoja comes back and wins the rematch against Joshua Van, even racks up some wins against like people like Tetsuro Taira or Manel Cap, then he could definitely be considered the flyweight GOAT for sure. All right, and moving up on this list, we got Peter Yan at number 4. Peter Yan just came off a very dominant performance over Merab. And he has elite level boxing and striking. He's very technical. He also has very good wrestling and out-wrestled Merab a lot in the rematch. And he has really good fight IQ. And he's just phenomenal to watch too. He's very entertaining. Never puts on a boring performance ever, really. And even though he does have a handful of losses, most of them have been really controversial. Either they've been robberies, really close split decisions, or he was injured. Like the first Merab fight, I think he had like a broken wrist and still went to a decision, even though he got 50-45, but we don't talk about that. And even the Aljamain Sterling fight, I felt like he won that fight. I think round 1 was anyone's round, really. But he looked great in that fight, even though it went down as a loss in his record. But in the Sean O'Malley fight, that was clearly a robbery. I guess he could score it either way, but Peter Yan looked way more dominant in that fight. Yeah, he doesn't really have any weaknesses, really. Like, he got backpacked by Aljamain Sterling for a little bit in that one fight that he lost against him, but yeah, he lacks a little bit of BJJ, but he's really well rounded other than that. And yeah, he's probably one of the most entertaining fighters on the roster. And yeah, he's been looking better than ever lately, and I think he's on a win streak right now too. And in all of his fights, he shows really good boxing combinations, really good boxing defense too. He has really good kicks as well, and really good takedown defense too. And yeah, he's just a really good fighter overall. And in his last fight, back to what I said earlier, he 50-45 Merab, who, what do you have? He had 3 title defenses at the time. He just beat all the top guys at bantamweight, and he made it look easy. And he was, not to mention, he was a massive underdog in that fight too. Looked like he was in the best shape of his life, and I wouldn't be surprised if he 50-45s Merab again in the trilogy. And moving on to the number 3 spot, of course, we're going to have Ilia Topuria in this mix. Ilia is one of the biggest superstars in the UFC right now, if not the biggest superstar, actually. He has elite boxing. He has a really good grappling base, good leg kicks. Of course, he has nasty knockout power for his division. And he looked unstoppable for a while. Knocked out Volk, Max, and Charles back to back. He has really good fight IQ, except for the last fight. Obviously, he has nasty combinations and draining pressure that'll put anyone out. He has good head movement, but he'll unnecessarily eat shots from time to time too. And he is wicked overconfident, and that's what led to his downfall in his last fight. Honestly, I think he should have beaten Gaethje, and he almost had him knocked out at one point, but I think he tried to stand and brawl with a much bigger guy who could take a lot of shots and who was known for his brawls. And Justin always wins when he brawls too. That's the thing. Ilia didn't look terrible in that fight, but if he fought smart and didn't just go in there and eat a bunch of shots and used his head movement and used feints and didn't promise everyone that he'd get an early KO and didn't try and seek an early finish, I think he would have gotten him out of there in the later championship rounds, or would have gone to a pretty convincing decision and would have beaten Justin. But yeah, we'll see how he returns. He obviously took a lot of damage in his last fight, but I think he'll come back and make a comeback and fight smarter in the future, and hopefully be less cocky and have better game plans in his next fight. Not to mention, Ilia was a double champ too. He almost had a fight with Islam. Everyone thought that was going to be his next fight at the White House, but fortunately it didn't happen. Yeah, I think he's probably going to fight someone like Patty next, especially after Patty's last fight where he submitted BSD in 20 seconds or something like that. Yeah, I think that's a fight to make. They're both rivals, both have a lot of beef. The fight would make a lot of people would watch this fight, and it would be an entertaining fight. And obviously I'd favor Ilia to win that, but it'll probably be a fun fight though. And yeah, I also think Ilia is naturally a featherweight, and he's undersized for lightweight a little bit. What he did with Charles was obviously really impressive and stuff, but I think if he went down to featherweight, I think he'd clear out the division and possibly become the featherweight GOAT if he wanted to. But I don't know if he can't make the weight anymore, or if he just wants to go up to lightweight to do better and consistently be a double champ. But yeah, I don't know. And moving on to the number 2 spot, of course, we have no one else but Alexander the Great Volkanovski. And Volkanovski, he's definitely, without a doubt, the featherweight GOAT. I'd say he's top 10 greatest fighters of all time, too, in the UFC. He's a very technical kickboxer with great defense, along with very good grappling and really good takedown defense, too. Cleared out the featherweight division before moving up to fight Islam. And he also had a very close fight with Islam as well. And he's still an elite fighter, and he's still a champion at featherweight in his old age. And he beat Max Holloway 3 times. If you say that you can beat Max Holloway 3 times, that's insane, man. And he also took out Jose Aldo, obviously. I think that was past Jose Aldo's prime, but still an impressive win. And he just beat Lopez twice in a dominant fashion. And he got dropped a few times, obviously, because his his chin is basically gone. It's really compromised at this stage of his career. And another thing about Volk, he isn't known for having a lot of power, but other than that, he doesn't really have any weaknesses. He's a really good fighter. I think the only people who beat him in the UFC are Islam and Ilia Topuria, and Ilia's been knocking everyone out lately, so those aren't even bad losses whatsoever. I think he only had like one loss in his MMA career before losing to Islam and Ilia. He's still the number 2 pound for pound guy in the UFC to this day at almost 38 years old, and he used to be number 1 pound for pound before he fought Islam. And yeah, did I mention he already cleared out featherweight? Yeah, I think I did. But yeah, Volk obviously is one of my favorite fighters in the UFC. He's really entertaining, even though he doesn't put a lot of guys out. It's still really fun watching how technical and how skilled he is, and yeah, he has really good movement, and his jab is really nice, and he has really good counters and stuff too, and along with all these guys, he has really good fight IQ. Always stays in good position, never puts himself in danger really. He doesn't really get caught a lot too, which is good. And yeah. All right, moving on to the number 1 spot. I don't think this is going to be a surprise to anybody here, but we got Islam Makhachev. Sorry. He's arguably the GOAT. I actually have him as my GOAT right now. And he's a double champ. He has the highest win streak in UFC history, tied with Anderson Silva at 16. He dominated everybody at lightweight. Submitted Charles Oliveira, which was crazy. He made JDM look like an amateur and bullied him for 5 rounds on the ground. And had a lot of success in the feet too. He's very well-rounded. He's got elite sambo, great BJJ in wrestling, and kickboxing. He also outstruck Poirier, and he had 1 KO loss back in the day, but that was before his striking dramatically improved. But yeah, he is the face of the UFC today, and looks unstoppable right now. Really has no weaknesses at all. Really smart fighter. He's got some good power too. It's not his like biggest strength, but he does have power though, don't get me wrong. And I don't know how much he's gonna have at welterweight though. But yeah, I think he'll probably retire soon after fighting Ian Gary. Yeah, he might fight Ian Gary, then maybe fight one more guy after that, but I think he's gonna retire pretty soon. And yeah, excuse the notification if you heard that, but yeah, this is my list. Hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one.